Two dreams, one field. Resilient veteran and Australian outsider fight for a spot on the Broncos. In the quiet heat of the off-season, when the cameras are less frequent and the spotlight is on the usual names, it is in these moments that the most human stories in American football are born. This week, at the Denver Broncos mandatory minicamp, 7 players are being tested. They all have something in common stronger than talent: the fierce desire to prove that they still deserve to be there. And among them, 2 names stand out, each with a unique trajectory, but both united by the same goal: to wear the orange and blue with pride. On one side, we have Milo Eifler, a 27-year-old linebacker who has already traveled a long and bumpy path in the NFL. Graduated from the universities of Washington and Illinois, he entered the league undrafted in 2021, a route that already requires more courage than most imagine. Since then, Eifler has played for 5 different teams, including the Jets, the Commanders, and most recently the Cardinals. It's not a headline-grabbing career, but it's a story of perseverance. With 17 regular season games under his belt, 13 of them with Washington between 2021 and 2022, he's excelled primarily on special teams, racking up more than 250 snaps in that role. To some, that kind of work may seem invisible. To coaches and scouts, though, it's those small contributions that make the difference between who survives and who fades. Now, Eifler is looking to do just that. Survive once again. He may not be a big name, but his experience, combined with his ability to deliver effort and discipline behind the scenes, could be just what the Broncos are looking for to bolster their roster with depth, especially on special teams, where games are often decided by details. But the Broncos minicamp also brought a surprise element. Patrick Murtagh, a 25-year-old who comes from the other side of the world, from sunny Australia, to try to make it in the NFL. And his story sounds like something out of a movie script. Murtagh started out as a decathlete, a complete athlete, trained to master 10 different disciplines. He then switched sports and became a professional Australian rules football player, playing from 2020 to 2022 with the Gold Coast Suns. But fate had other plans. He entered the international NFL pathway program in 2023, and his journey has been a real roller coaster ever since. He had a brief stint with the Detroit Lions, cut short by a health issue, and most recently was in training camp with the Jaguars. He spent 2024 on the injured list and was released in the spring of this year. Still, Murtagh didn't give up. And now, in Denver, he has another chance to show what he can do. And who knows, earn a spot in the most competitive league on the planet. And what makes this scenario even more interesting is that the NFL allows each team to keep an extra international player on their practice squad without him counting against the 16-man limit. In other words, if Murtagh does well, the Broncos can develop him without giving up another talent. It's a strategic advantage and a gateway for someone who has plenty of athletic potential but still needs to adapt to the American game. Currently, Australian punter Jeremy Crawshaw already occupies the international player spot on the Broncos off-season roster, not counting against the 90-man limit. But everything can change, and the team may make room for Murtagh at some point during the season. What's at stake now is more than a spot. It's a story in the making, full of sweat, effort, and hope. These are the stories that often go unnoticed, but they are the ones that keep the spirit of the sport alive. Eifler, the silent warrior, and Murtagh, the bold outsider, are writing their next chapters with every step on the field. Who do you think will impress the most in training? Which of these stories touched you the most? Comment below. We want to hear your opinion. And if you like real stories of overcoming, of athletes who don't give up even when no one believes in them, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell. Because here we follow what the big portals don't tell, the battles behind the scenes, the names that fight in silence to be heard. The mini-camp ends on Thursday, but for these two players, every day is a final, and we'll be watching.